Hey Paris, this is Chris. Just wanted to make a video and send it to you since it looks like I just joined this Ask a Lender Facebook page or Facebook group, and it looks like I need to be authorized by the admin, which it looks like is a production manager for a lender. So I don't know if he is inclined to approve my message or not, because who knows if people are trying to be helpful or not when creating these groups. But I want to create this message to help you out, so you can read on the right-hand side, if you push pause for this video, what I said. But basically, the first thing is I think it's a great attempt at you trying to find a template to do an A and B or a comparison between the first lender, which I think is the builder's lender, and then lender 2 is the lender that was referred to you by your realtor. So that's great. The first question I have is about the $8,000 comment that you made. You said it was outside of the loan estimate, so does that mean that the $8,000 is a reduction in your purchase price? That's key for number one. I did the math. $8,000 divided by 360 months is about $22 a month in savings. So it could be comparable to the 3.25% rate if you think about it. If it's lower in purchase price, but the rate is a little bit higher, I think it's going to even itself out. And then the $1,000 credit plus $2,900 in title. I don't know if that's a title credit or if the fee max is $2,900 for using the lender's title. But if it's a title credit, then that's equivalent to the lender credit that lender 2 is providing you. Now, one of the things that I want to point out when looking at your A to B spreadsheet is the first thing is the escrow balance. You'll see, let's see here, this right here. This escrow balance, it's showing that it's about 1448 higher. Well, the escrow is basically an account, as you know, that's created for you to pay for your property tax dues and your homeowner's insurance renewals. So it's not going to the lender. Just think of it as a savings account, just specifically created and used to pay those dues and renewals. So typically, loan officers and lenders will take this figure and exaggerate it in the lesser amount to show that the closing cost is not going to be as much. I would think that this will probably be a little bit more accurate, and the reason why I say that the 5120 is because there's nothing for really the preferred lender to gain, right? Most of the time clients will choose to preferred lender because just out of convenience, and then the dollar amounts that they're hanging for the seller credit and whatnot that they're going to be providing. So I suspect that this to be net zero, but in any case, it's going to go to you. It doesn't go to the lender. It's not real. I mean, it's part of closing costs because you're creating the account, but just think of it as you're putting money aside for those two items, the homeowner's insurance and the property tax dues. Okay. And then the other parts that was a little bit confusing for me was these calculations here. Some of these look wrong. For example, $700 minus 985 is not 984. The appraisal amounts also, if you look here at 575 minus 595 is not 594. So some of these figures look incorrect. So I think you're going to have to check out the formulas to make sure that they are accurate. So you are accurately doing an A-B comparison side-by-side variance analysis. That's my first thing. And then the last part is I don't see anywhere here in your calculations, if I would be doing an appropriate A and B, let's say for one of our clients, I would be plugging in the lender credit as well, because at the end of the day, you're going to be totaling up all your closing costs, right, which is going to include creation of the escrow amount, but you're going to do all of section A, B, C, and D of the loan estimate, and then sections A, B, C, and D of the loan estimate for the other lender, and then you should do a side-by-side comparison because that's the true cost of the loan, and that's why it's labeled on the bottom of section D, total loan cost. Then the rest of the section on the right side, which is under the other cost column, those are going to be like your property taxes, escrow, homeowner's policy that we highly recommend that you get. So those are going to just vary slightly depending on the lender that you select with, as well as the title company. Um, Last thing is typically working with a preferred lender from a builder. There's pros to it. There's definite pros. Pros is that they are going to be more lenient with you in terms of when the lender is able to close the file and settle and everything, because it's their preferred lender. If you bring in an outside lender, they're going to be a little bit stricter with the time frame. So for example, as I wrote on the notes here, what if you're doing a new build, you're going to be waiting for the property to be at least 90% completed. And once the build is 90% completed, the lender is going to send an appraisal out, or an appraiser to do the appraisal. From there, the timing is going to be important, because if the home is not completed by the time the appraiser goes sees it, then a re-inspection is going to be required. And you want to do the re-inspection when the certificate of occupancy is received, the permit is received for the house. And so that time frame of doing the re-inspection, typically by the time that re-inspection is done, the builder is going to want to close relatively quickly, even though they've done this many times and they know that some of these things are what we call non-closing conditions, where the lender is going to require certain conditions, like the certificate of occupancy and certain things, to be obtained prior to them giving you a clear to close and then go into settlement. So those are some of the nuances, but if the rate is competitive and you like the style of the realtor's preferred lender, it doesn't hurt to do that, as long as they know and understand. They've done a few, new builds, and they understand that there's going to be compressed time, and then they build a rapport with the builder. But I think it goes back to really, what is that $8,000? Is that a reduction in purchase price, and is that important to you? Because if it is, then I think, even if the preferred lender for the builder is non-responsive, it doesn't hurt to really go with them. All right. If you have any other questions, you can ping me on Facebook or email me at chris@onerate.com, CHRIS at 1, the number 1, RATE.com. All right.